Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Spark Growth, where we talk everything mindset and personal development. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here, welcome back. So today we are talking about what are the top financial tips to help you navigate through this new year, especially with the looming recession. So today we're talking about the top financial habits that you need to have so that you can navigate your finances and make better financial decisions. So in order for you to level up your finances, I'm going to take you through some tips, tricks, and habits that you can practice in your financial life so that you know you can level up and be in the clear by the time the recession comes. Habit number 1 is to track your spending. So make sure that you do an inventory of all your expenses. Where have you been spending your money for the past 3 to 6 months? Do a list. Go through your bank statement and see where exactly all your money is going so that you can also identify the areas in which you can actually save money. Ways in which for you to save money is also by cutting back on recurring costs. You know, sometimes we have subscriptions that for some reason we forget that we actually subscribe to something and then we stop using it after a couple of months or a couple of years. So go through your bank statement and see what are those recurring fees and charges and see how you can cut back on those. So sometimes people have a Netflix subscription but they're not constantly logging on each and every month. So with expenses like that, you can cut the expenses when you don't need them because it's not any contractual obligation for you to continuously pay those recurring fees. So try and see areas in which you are spending that you don't actually need to be spending money on because you are not using that service or that product on a monthly basis. So the next thing you need to do is create a realistic monthly budget that you will be able to stick to. So based on your income as well as your expenses / the type of lifestyle you choose to live, you need to actually draw up what are your mandatory expenses. Would be things like your bills, savings, things that are important. Those are must-do items on each and every month. You put that on one side and you calculate the total of that. On the other side, you put things like your additional costs. Those are your entertainment costs, those are your self-care costs. How much does that, or how much do you think you want to spend on those items every single month? And when you draw up a budget, you need to make sure that you stick to your budget because there's no use you're going to draw up a budget if you're going to default on it every single month. You need to try and make sure that you stick to the budget as much as possible so that you can actually track your finances and see where all your money is going. This will improve your relationship with your finances and also help you build wealth. The next thing is building up a savings. Regardless of how much time it takes you to have a savings, make sure that you start building it up. Any amount that you can afford from your monthly expenses deducted as well as your additional expenses, make sure that there is amount from your total income that you are going to take to go and allocate that to savings. Each and every month, you need to make sure as soon as your money comes in, there needs to be money that goes out and goes directly into your savings. You can choose how you want to allocate your savings. So some people will do their savings in a fixed account where you can see the money in your bank account, but you can't access the money until a certain period. So sometimes you'd have a 6-month fixed account. Some are 12 months, some are 24 months. It just depends on whichever plan you choose with your relevant bank. You can also choose a compound interest account. That's where each and every month a certain amount gets deducted from your account. It goes into a separate account where you do not touch that money for a certain term, a fixed period of time. And while that money is growing, you are gaining a compound interest on that money. So you can do this through major banks, you can do it through investment firms, you can get yourself a financial broker to assist you in getting a compound interest savings account. There are also other options of tax-free accounts. There's multiple options of accounts or places where you can put your money and it can grow and it can be a savings. Me personally, I have two different savings accounts. I have one savings account that I can access at any given time where I only put a small amount of money into. And then I have a bigger savings account which has a fixed time limit that I can't access the money. And that's my money where I'm saving for either a big project or I'm saving just as money to go on a trip or do whatever with, but it's a big sum of money that is saved for a fixed amount of time. So most of the time I do a minimum of 5 years putting money into the savings account, and over time it gains interest on the amount on top of the capital that I initially invested. So for me, it makes more sense to not put all my eggs in one basket and diversify my savings account so that it can suit my needs as in when I need the money. Because sometimes there are always unexpected things that happens in life. So you need to be able to access your money as and when you need to, but you also need money that you know that you are saving towards a certain target, and that money can be put away in a fixed account. So one thing about saving is that you need to always continuously be disciplined. Make sure that you ensure that your savings are treated as though it's one of your expenses, your monthly bills. So if you have a savings that you can access at whatever time, make sure that you have a stop order or a debit order that you set that automatically takes the money from your account on a certain day where your income comes in, so that it goes into that savings account. That way you can learn how to be disciplined and not say, oh no, this month I want to go buy myself something with this money, so I can't save. Saving has to be a disciplined process. It has to be a ritual. It has to form part of your daily life. The next habit of you leveling up your finances is to ensure that you pay your bills on time each and every month. Be religious about this. Do not miss this. Paying your bills on time each and every month will allow you and help you to stick to your budget. You know what your monthly bills are and what your monthly expenses are. Those are the first things that need to go out before you even go for entertainment, before you buy groceries, before you do anything. Whoever you owe money to, whoever you have a contractual agreement with, needs to be paid first. Make sure that your money goes out to those people on a monthly basis, or whenever you have agreed to pay these people their money, whether it's a cell phone contract, whether it's your car installment, whether it's your home loan, whatever it may be. Make sure that that money goes out first, and unless you're paying tithes, obviously that goes out first. But I'm just saying, in terms of your bills, make sure that your bills go out before any entertainment goes out, so you don't get the two confused. Don't be those people that, especially in December, people forget that they have bills and they start spending their money before they can actually pay their bills. So make sure that you pay your bills before you decide to spend your money on luxuries. And you paying your bills on time also keeps your credit score on track. So anytime you know that you need some funding, you need a loan from the bank, don't go for loans unnecessarily. But if you do need any financial assistance with the bank or with any other financial lender, you know that your credit record is on point. Even for investment opportunities, you know that your credit score is at its highest that it can possibly be, because you continuously pay your bills on time. Trust me, you defaulting on your bills has a big impact on your financial life. Another big habit is save up cash for big expenses. Like I said previously, I usually have a fixed savings account where I save up for things that I've planned for, big expenses. Do not go out there and go to the bank and ask for a personal loan. Personal loan, the interest rates on personal loans are ridiculous. You do not need to be having a loan for things that are not important. If you can live without something for a couple of months, try and save up for it. If you know you want to renovate your house, start saving up for those expenses. Instead of using, calling the bank and getting 100,000 Rand loan or instead of, doing things that you shouldn't be doing, especially if something is a want and not a need. You do not need to be going out using your credit card for big expenses or getting a personal loan for such things. Try and make sure that you save up, and also stay away from store cards. If you cannot buy it with cash, it means you can't afford it. So try and stay away from those store cards where they say you can buy on credit and you can pay us back at the end of the month. That is very unnecessary, and in the long run, it's very detrimental to your financial life, because each and every month now you have an additional expense of paying up for clothing or paying up for food, whereas if you can't afford it, that's why you should always have a credit card with a limit in place, a very small limit. Don't have a big limit, so that for rainy days, something happens and you need cash, you can use your credit card. But you do not need to be having store cards from every store in the world and buying clothes, buying food, jewelry, cosmetics. It's so unnecessary. And it's really going to be detrimental to your financial goals, especially when you start having bigger financial goals in life. So just remember, if you can't buy something with cash and it's not an immediate need, you're not going to die if you don't get this. It means you can't afford it. So do not go asking for unnecessary credit or loaning money just so that you can get a want. And then the final habit that I have is that you need to start an investment strategy. Figure out how you're going to invest your money. So you're not going to build generational wealth just by working a job or just by getting your money from one source. Make sure you multiply your sources of income. Make sure that you find yourself a financial advisor or do some research. There's a lot of avenues where you can do your research. You can go on YouTube, there's podcasts, there are books on how to invest your money so that it can grow for you. There are many options in which you can invest your money. For example, you can literally take you can take any amount of money and invest it either into company shares or the stock market, where you take that money and you invest it in that specific company, and after a couple of months or years, depending on how long you yield your returns, you can get your money back, and sometimes it can even come back tenfold depending on how good the stock or the company you chose to invest in is doing. Next thing is you can actually trade Forex, learn how to trade Forex. There are a lot of mentorships, there are a lot of avenues. YouTube has a lot of information on how you can actually start learning how to trade Forex. I know a lot of people think Forex is a scam, but it is absolutely not. I know for myself because I have tried and tested it, and it does work. You just need to make sure that you do not get scammed, because there are a lot of scammers out there that uses Forex to scam people out of their hard-earned money. And there are a lot of legitimate mentors out there as well. So you need to do your research on whether or not trading Forex is an option for you. It is a very hard skill to learn, so it is not an option for everybody. But if you do have the time and the patience to actually learn and grow that skill, that will actually help you to grow your finances in a very big way, because the opportunity for growth and wealth building is very big. And if you also have additional money and if your credit score is amazing, you can actually even get banks to fund you to get additional properties that you can use as rental properties, where you can get residual income. But this income will be passive. You're not going to become a millionaire overnight by investing in property. But the one thing about it is that passively you will be getting income on a monthly basis from this. And after years, let's say you ask a bank for a loan, that property will be able to pay for itself, especially if your strategy is good and you choose the best location for rent and the amount that you are getting back makes sense. So you need to do all of that research. It's up to you to decide whether you want to invest in properties, do you want to invest in stocks, do you want to trade forex, do you want to take your money, put it into a financial institution and have them invest your money for you. That option doesn't yield the best returns because they obviously want to make more money than you will with your money, but it's also an option. Like I said, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Do your research and diversify your portfolio so that you can increase your income from multiple avenues and streams and not just put it in one thing. One thing to remember, that when you choose certain forms of investments, there's always a risk attached to it. So you must choose an amount that you're willing to lose, because you could lose the money. But also remember, as much as you could lose your money, you can make your money back 10 times more. So be aware of the risk appetite that you have. How much money are you willing to lose? Especially if you're willing to do trading forex or investing in stocks. Even in the property market, losses are very probable. They are very probable. As we've all heard that there's a looming recession that's coming, the best time to start investing your money is when stocks and company shares are down. That's when you need to start buying. But anyway, do your research on that, and I'll see if I can do a more in-depth video on how to invest your money, especially when it comes to stocks as well as forex trading. I'll do a more in-depth video on how you can do that. But there are so many places where you can learn and actually grow your understanding in these avenues. Do your research, figure out what works for you, and decide how are you going to create generational wealth for yourself and your family. So those are the top financial habits that I have for you to level up in your finances. If you really enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!